hello, hello. Every time I do that, I sound like I'm singing the start to a very famous Sectarian Ranger song where they're up to their knees in such and such blood, and they call themselves the Billy Boys. And we can't be doing that when we're one singular Tim boy. I'm a big Celtic fan. And before we get into this episode, if you're listening to this before the 28th of June, probably on the day of release, this is your very last chance to get access to the priority list for the 45 quid no contract offer. So I'm not going to go into the offer itself. I've already posted about it all over Instagram and my email list. I'm not going to go into the service. You basically have 24 hours before you're not going to have another chance till Christmas to be able to sign up to my coaching without signing up for a 12-week block at once. So the link to sign up will be in the description or the show notes below, and just make sure you put your email address in and give yourself a chance of claiming one of the limited spots. Before we get into the show as well, if you're listening on Spotify or watching on Spotify, make sure you give me a wee rating. I'm trying to get up to 200. Why am I trying to get up to 200? Because I think 200 would be a good number and it looks good and it fuels my ego, and that's pretty much it. And if you're on YouTube, you're like, why are you telling me about Spotify? Just ignore that and like it and subscribe on YouTube. Help my ego in any kind of way. I need it validated. Enjoy the show. I was like, oh yeah, this relates to what, like something that happens in the surgery, and I was like, he was like the gastric band surgery, and I was like, sorry, you work in that? And then he sent me like 10 voice messages, and I was like, man, that's far too much. And I started listening to it, and I was the most interested I've ever been about something. It was fucking. It's
crazy. I'd love to get. We're gonna start doing that. Try to explore out and find people like in the medical field.
Yeah.
Because I've trained a few doctors and stuff, and see when you hear the training that they go through, you can move that table.
Right.
Whatever. It's mad how much, like, I was like, oh, so what did you learn, like, about nutrition or, like, lifting weights? Like,
it's close to my mouth enough.
You'd kind of, you're holding a cock.
Right.
It's like a workbook they go through.
What, for work?
Like, the impact that lifting weights and eating better does for the human body and human health. It's no joke. It's like a small chunk of their whole medical career, doctors.
Is that true?
GPs,
Right. So
yeah.
I've heard so many people like slag doctors off and say that they don't know anything about nutrition.
They know very little. They know little to nothing. So I've
So where have you got that info from?
Direct
so that
doctors.
I can use this to other people.
So I've got.
I'll be like, Dale said it. Dale said doctors are shite.
No, I'm not saying they're shite. So
I need to watch what I'm saying because I've got that. Like, see this. So I'm going to upload this before they come on, but next week I've got a guy from a clinic coming on, which I just said, which is what we're talking about. We'll just start the podcast.
NHS. Fuck them.
Please stop talking. Because at the last message I said to him, mate, for about 2 months, it's been like, he's just been sending me like screenshots of like the emails he's been sending, like people will come on, because I think it's not a private clinic, but it's still the NHS that he works for.
Outsource a bit of stuff.
Yeah. But I think there may be like, I don't know how it works, but anytime I've asked someone else from the NHS to come on, it's been like a hard no. Whereas he's been like, no, my boss and all that are quite cool with stuff like that. So I was like, a bit different. But he's like, he's had to get about 18 OKs, and he's like, oh, just spoke to such and such. I'm like, man, I don't know who any of these people are. Just tell me when you can actually definitely
it's
do
fascinating.
it. I couldn't deal with any that like that. The amount of admin he's had to do just to come on. So
that's
like,
wild.
Let's not slag off.
No, that is quite crazy. But no, like, back to that. So first-hand training, actual doctors training people going through like their last years before they become a doctor and stuff. And I've always been curious. I'm like, you obviously know, like when I'm saying you should feel it here, and I can use the actual muscle term. Like, I know what you're talking about. It's like, but do you feel it there? And then I started to piece together. I was like, my very first client I got that was a doctor, I was like, oh, this person knows more than me. So I'm like, why? What am I going to help them with? And then you realise, like, maybe they don't know as much as what they say. So just general biomechanics and movements and that sort of stuff. So I started asking questions, and the whole nutrition component and the what workouts and resistance training can do. There's a divide of the younger generation, and there's a lot of older generational mindset that's kind of in and around the NHS and probably all over different practices, because let's be honest, to get into the medical field, it's like years of study, years of training. And in that, you think about the last 10 years for us, what's happened in technology. So imagine you're learning over the course of 30, 40 years, how much can change. And some people are just stuck in their ways and refuse to adapt and learn. So
well, even if you look at what we knew about like bodybuilding style training like 10-15 years ago, how our doctors gonna, or even nutrition like
so complex.
has changed so much on what the general consensus is. Like if it fits your macros, when that come out, like maybe like 10 years ago, which was just the idea that instead of like all of these different rules, it was just like, here's your carbs, fats and protein, hit that. And that is, although there's flaws to that, it's going to get you 90% really into it.
Yeah, and so dealing with them firsthand and kind of seeing them go through their journey, it's mad. Like, it's just so fascinating to me, like how someone chooses that as their career and then devotes their life to it. Because as much as they're learning like a curriculum for a test or whatever, like a lot of it's depending on their own self-interest and study to go down the rabbit hole of really understanding a complex issue or complex system, whatever it may be, that they choose to doctor in, whether it's GP and pediatrics and going through all these different things. So it's crazy. It's such a...
GPing looks like one of the most stressed, like it looks like one of the worst working conditions I can think of. Like just seeing people non-stop every day, and then they get such a bad rap as well, don't they?
Yeah, one of my friends is she's a GP now, or when she comes back from maternity leave, I think she's got like 3 months of training. That's her fully like 8 years of studying and 8 years of uni and all that sort of stuff, and that's her. And she wanted to pick GPing, and I never really understood that. I was like, why? And it's just like, I think she's seen it from, they need help and there's so many shitty GPs out there. I want to be the one that shifts the direction of it. And that's what she was telling me. She was telling me a lot of like, just lazy, like absolute laziness when it comes to like actual GPs. Like, cause I think per GP unit, they've got like 15,000 people like in their pool. I mean, James talked about this, like how can you physically 10-minute appointments all day, every day? How can you keep up with that workload? Never mind the admin, like actually seeing and like it's a quick diagnosis.
Well, they're just overworked, like for a start. So that's also not their fault. And I had Yusuf. Did we speak about this last time? We didn't, did we? When I had Yusuf on, who had worked for the NHS and he quit, he was telling me that they used to bring consultants in, and they'd be telling everyone what was wrong with all the systems. Yeah. And he'd be like, we all know what's wrong with the systems, but we've no incentive to, right, let's not. Whoa. I've just said.
Let's not get into it.
Let's leave it.
No, but I think like we're definitely naive enough. We're at the other side of the fence here, and we're hearing, as much as that's a first-hand conversation, that's one or two people's experiences compared to thousands. But when you compare like the experience I'm saying there with a similar experience that you were just about to talk through, there's a lot of similarities to a lot of shit that's going on. So it'll be interesting to see what this that'll be a really interesting chat with him coming
I think
on.
It'll be really good. He really knew his stuff, and he's potentially going to have one of the other people that work in the clinic that's, by his words, smarter than him. So he said one of the people that he works with is a genius, and it's like it's either the head surgeon or somebody else on, which I will be well out of my depth.
I was going to say, you got a lot of prep today. How did you qualify?
What is a gastric band?
Pure dumbed down conversation.
Is it like an elastic band? Two elastic bands wrapped together.
No, what is it then? No, that'll be good chat. What's
Definitely.
his name?
That's a good question. I'll come back to you on that.
Maybe start there, mate. Definitely start there.
I'll get back to you. Ewan. There you go.
Is it?
See, I was thinking of his name on Instagram. That's
in Glasgow. So it's private practice,
Aberdeen.
but do NHS work.
Aberdeen.
Aberdeen.
Don't know if the rest of them are, but I'm really excited for it. I think that'll be my best. Honestly, I don't know about you, but I don't do enough. Well, not. See, obesity is like, it's not our sort of topic, I don't think, or we are helping with obesity, but I think there gets to a level where that's now a personal trainer can't fix it. Yeah, when it gets to levels when it's like there's clear emotional instability and stuff,
It's
and then
beyond training. It's
the
beyond
roots
training,
are dig way deeper than what we can help with, and I think it gets to a level where it's clear that it's not a problem with like education, training, and nutrition. Do you know what I mean? And like people that are in that position would hate to hear it, but it doesn't mean that they can't get help. It just means that you're more looking at like obesity experts and stuff. Plus, this is what we're going to talk about when he comes on the podcast. There's other issues that come with losing weight from those scenarios. Not that they're broken, but more like when you might did you just crack your neck?
Did you hear that?
That was horrific.
No,
please never do that in front of me again.
Next time, just go like that.
You looked as if you were just going to die. But there's other issues that come with it, and even like if you get that heavy, you're probably going to have like health issues as well. So like cutting someone's calories, there's just things that there's complications. Yeah, there's
complex.
Yeah, there'll be complications to everything. That's what he was telling me as well with the surgeries and stuff. There's loads of different things that you need to think about before you do any surgery. That's why I want to get them on, because everyone's going to Turkey. That's what the main thing we'll be talking about is. I hope he comes on now. Imagine he cancels on me.
You'll know that dick.
You've all just been excited for it. Yeah, like, what did Dale talk about?
James will come on, wear a moustache. Like, hello. I don't imagine
you can do
a moustache on.
Just shave your beard and put on a blonde wig or something.
No, I think obesity, yeah, you're right. I think, and this is limitations of just PTing in general. I think you go to a PT and it's just going to solve everything. But health and fitness is so complex. I think we've got a responsibility to try and communicate a good message, and I think that's why we clicked when we first met, because it wasn't you need to be shredded, you need to be sitting looking physique ready.
Well, the conversations we have off air is just like looking at other PTs and going, does that help?
It's what message and what impact do you want to make. I think that's where our responsibility ends. And I've had a few clients where they fall into the morbidly obese category and things like that, and a lot of them have had a lot of success, but a lot of them as well I've had to say, look, I need to kind of refer you on from here, or you can just I can always tell with a client when they're not checked in. I'm like, right, you were really hyped up to come to me, and because the results or the scales are not moving as quickly as they can. I think that's really the biggest issue I have with going down the surgical route. So I had a lot of people that I used to speak with in the corporate world. I remember this one guy say, I'm telling you, it's confidence, and I'm not going to name him or whatever, but I'm on my third consultant to get a gastric band. Mm-hmm. And I was like, what? He wasn't like big. He was just a wee bit overweight. And I was like, why? He's like, because diet's just not working for me. And I thought, you sure that's the right thing? No, like, because like you said, you'll probably find out with getting this guy in your show that it's not just, you're just losing a wee bit of weight. There's more complications in terms of how much you can eat, how like long-term impact you can have to your actual health and well-being from a band that's been put in. And once it's done, it can't be reversed. I don't think you can reverse it. I think it's a life decision.
It'll be so interesting to ask them about it, because like we have the questions just now. But even like, see if you're referring someone on, who do you refer them to?
I'd tell them just to go down the. Usually, it's quite rare that someone in that situation isn't going for regular checkups. That's what I've found. They're not going, like, they're seeing.
They're already seeing a GP.
They're already like in a regular checkup because of other health issues, and this is where I tell them to start floating and say, look, you're like, I've got my exercise referral qualification, which means fuck all, but it basically means I can write a letter to a doctor. It means I can write a letter to a doctor and they can write one back to me and we can communicate about the client. MD can do it. Paid £1,900 for all these qualifications.
How much for that one?
I was in the bundle, but they were probably selling it about £300-400.
What was it? Tell me this bundle. What do you get?
My spin, my circuit, my level 2, level 3, gym and PTing, boxer size. And I'll be honest, I done the bare minimum to do the one I was interested. I was interested in exercise referral, so I was like, it'd be really good if a doctor's at a point where their no client, their patient, and they're like, look, you really need to start doing a wee bit more physical activity. Here's I can take a referral from a doctor, but no waste of money, because it led me in the path I'm in. But when people ask me, I'm looking to get my PT qualification, I'm like, do the bare minimum. Level 2, level 3, that's all you need.
You get out.
Aye, and just find what.
Because they actually don't even remotely do anything for you, do they?
Nah.
Even level 2 and level 3 doesn't do anything for you apart from let you work in a gym.
Yeah, it's a starting point. It's basic. It's basic information, I think, and it's definitely behind the learning curve of the way you learn stuff today. Like, there definitely needs to be, like, you can learn everything you need to on YouTube. Anything's online that you can learn these days, and that's what made my training.
And you can actually see by coaching people and just YouTube and stuff, you can actually become pretty good at your job. Because you can see the people that don't YouTube stuff and just like train people and just talk, and you're like, come on, just look up something.
anything.
To get them to stop sprinting in between squats.
I know, and jump me in a box. Like, rest. Fucking rest.
They don't need to do stuff all the time.
Oh,
ask them who they're shagging.
Just looking at them like, we need to do burpees now. Like, we need to do but you can tell them it's on the tip of their tongue. So I'm doing my nutrition qualification, my level, it's like level 1 and level 2, I think it's classed as. But it was interesting going through this learning. They say, right, here's your material. It's going to take you a couple of hours to go through. The most part of your learning is getting 3 guinea pigs and coaching them through their nutrition for 12 weeks, and then you submit that to us, and we have conversations around what you've done, what's went well, what's not went well, the actual practical application before you go, here's your pass.
Where'd you get the guinea pigs? Pets at home?
Aye. Good one, mate.
Do you know, I've got them.
See on
this is Jerry.
See on my check-in sheet, it says such and such guinea pig. I've just never changed the word because it's like a guinea pig template. But that's to me is where you learn most of it, because you're like actual practicing what you preach.
Do you want to hear about my
So you went a hill climb. So you've been fucking killing the hill climbs.
I mean, I've done 2 last week.
So you've done like how many Monroes in your life?
Oh, no. See, the thing is, I can't remember which ones I've done.
Oh, so you're starting again?
Well, I don't know.
Until you're halfway up, I recognise this one.
Aye, it'll be the car park, won't it? Oh, for fuck's sake.
I fucking done this one.
Well, I done Ben Lomond last Saturday because I forgot about this. The last time I went to try to do Ben Lomond,
you got lost?
I done the West Island Way for 2 hours by mistake.
When did you realise?
When I asked the guy here how far away is Ben Lomond, and he was like 3 hours back the way before you can get to the start of the trial or the trail. I was like, all right, okay. But then we went back, and that's just a big sign. It just says Ben Lomond this way, and we walked the other way. So I was a bit of PTSD going back to there, but climbed that one.
When you done that, did you realise how the fuck did I fuck this up?
Yes. Yeah,
Straight
it's the
path.
easiest one. It's the.
I take it you turned left, like at the rocky bit,
and the car park.
Aye. Ben Lomond. Oh, it must be that way then.
The toilet. You just go to the toilet and keep walking that went the other way. So I done that one, and a week before I done Ben Narnain, it's called. So this time I done Ben. I think I don't know how to say it because it's got like Gaelic names and all that. Done it like Ben Emmy or something. So it's next to Narnain. So the reason I done that one is because I was going on my own, and I knew where it was.
Easy one.
Yeah, I knew, I was like, it's right there. I just need to go left at this point and know where it is because I've got lost so many times. They don't fucking signpost it though.
No.
That does do my head in. It's like there's little wooden things.
It's like but have you been up one that's is it called a cairn?
Don't know.
And all it is a pile of rocks. So they pile up these rocks, and that's how you know you're on the right path.
Oh, really?
See what's the second highest one? Ben McDouey.
Right.
We done that once, and it was looking at my maps. It was like follow the cairns, and it was like a big pile of rocks, and I was like, it's fucking dumb. So you're walking a direction, you see a wee shadow, like, okay, there's the path. You're walking a direction, then it's over there, and you're like, what the fuck am I going?
See if there's a wooden pole up here or like a wooden stump that has like an arrow on it. Why can't it just or it doesn't have an arrow, but it's there for a reason. Why can't it just have an arrow to the where we're going?
You?
Like
see, in Switzerland, what they done was they taped every route colour coded, easy, difficult, whatever. But they just sprayed arrow. You're going the right way. So you walk for 10 minutes, you're like, I don't know if this is the right way. You see a red arrow, cool, I'm on the right path.
Why don't they do that here? There's so many like Americans up there are definitely getting lost. Oh, well, I'm getting lost, so think of the Americans. But yeah, so I dropped Michael off at the airport at 4:30, and I think I got heat stroke because I was in a weird mood for about 3 hours. I was like tickling him and all that when we're walking about the shops, and I was just shouting stuff at him when we're walking around the fort. I was taking videos of
Look at these two grown men tickling each other in the middle of the fort.
I was walking about the fort, just screaming, "I'm gonna miss you!"
just getting right embarrassed.
Yeah, I always used to do stuff like that to him. Like when we were in Australia, I would put on a wee camp voice when we were going around the shops and all that, and I would just be like, Michael, just try and pants him.
Stop that.
And then I dropped him off at the airport and I put in going back to Uddingston, and it was like rush hour traffic, and I'd had it in my head that I was gonna go do one, because I was like, I'm gonna do 2 this week, and he was like, no chance. I was like, I'm gonna go in the evening one week, and he was like, no way you're doing that. And then I was like, trust me, I'll do it. So I dropped him off at the airport, and then I said to him before I left, I was like, I'll send you a wee picture tonight. And he was like, of what? And I was like, oh, nothing, like my feet. So, but as soon as I dropped him off, I typed in Arica, where that mountain is, drove all the way up myself, got myself some snacks.
I knew, I recognised it. So it's next to the cobbler.
There's 3 of them at the cobbler.
Yeah.
So there's the cobbler, then that Narnane one, which is the one I done the other day, and then so I've been up there twice.
You know the cobbler isn't in Monroe?
Yeah, no. That's why
that broke my heart. I was telling everybody, first one I ever done was the cobbler, and I was like, I've done a Monroe, I've done one, and then I got one fucking arsehole. The cobbler isn't a Monroe. Shut up, mate. It was a fucking hill, right? It was hard.
It's
and
hard,
I done it in my
though,
Converse. That zigzags.
It's quite
like
hard.
Ending.
So I got there, parked my car, right, and then there was this guy at the bottom at the car park putting up a sign. And now, because I'd been with Michael for 5 days and we'd stayed in an Airbnb, I had everything in my car, laptop, everything I owned. My business was in my car. And he was putting up a sign, and I thought it said stolen car on it or lost car. I was like, are people stealing cars here? And then as soon as I said that, I seen it said lost dog. And then the guy turned around to me with like tears streaming down his face. I was like, sorry, mate.
How did you fuck that one up? No. You have a picture of the dog and everything. Oh, that's a nice car, that. Poor guy.
I was so stressed about my laptop. I was like, sorry, mate, I'll look for the dog.
Oh, did you conversate with him or that? Or did you just
as soon as I said that, he was literally looked as if he was about to have a mental breakdown. And I was just like, right, leave him alone. I've actually his day's ruined, and I've just made him honestly ready to fucking commit sideways. And then, so I left him, put on Strava, started walking up the thing, and I was actually, like, I wanted to do it quite fast. Like, a girl screenshotted me, like, how fast she'd done it. And it was
what chat up lines are like now.
Yeah, showing people.
See if you can beat this.
Look at my Strava.
If you want a date with me, you need to get this time on you.
Under 3 hours 40, or you're getting none. And it was 4 hours 15 she'd done it. I think you actually know her. And I done it. I was like, I'm going to do it faster than that. And so I was walking up it quite fast, and then got to like 40 minutes in, and I seen the fucking dog.
No way.
Seen the dog about 100 metres in front of me, but there was also a guy coming down my Celtic top, so I didn't know if it was his dog. So then I started walking a bit faster, and I got to him, and I was like, is that your dog? And he was like, nah. And I was like, that's the fucking dog. And but I hadn't seen, because I didn't ask the guy what the dog's name was or anything, or what it looked like, because I'd ruined his day. So I just like ran away from him as soon as I fucking made him start crying even more. So I seen the dog, and I was like, that's the fucking dog. So bear in mind, I'm climbing a mountain.
Aye.
It's still, at this point, it's not.
The zigzags, is that how you start that one? Or did you go down the back?
It's the exact same as the cobbler.
Yeah, so
the cobbler goes up to the left.
So you go down to the right.
So yeah, it zigzags at the start for about 40 minutes, and it's actually quite grim. I'm past that. Then there's a bit that's still hilly, but it's got flat bits. Yeah. So that's where I seen the dog, and then the cobbler goes up to the left. Right, so it's 100 meters away, and I've been doing this fast already. So I'm like, right, I start shouting on the dog. I don't know the dog's name.
Start saying random names.
Yep. I tried Lucky. I think I tried Oscar. At one point I was like, maybe it's a bird. Beatrice.
Do you not have any snacks or anything? Did you just like whip something?
I fucking like jelly babies.
Dogs will eat
and chocolate. Kill it. Gets to me.
Here's your dog, mate.
I found the dog. It was dead. And so I start chasing it, and like, cause every 100 meters you're going up and then it'll come down, so you can't see that far. So imagine every time I run, get to the end of this bit, it's still 100 meters away from me, and I give up because it's running the same. When I run, it's running the same speed as me. Then I come up to the next hill, see over again. It's like 50 metres away from me. So I'm like, I'm catching this thing.
Three things fucked.
Run again, get over the next bit of the hill. It's 100 metres away from me. It taunted me for about 2 miles, and it heard me shouting every time. So every time I would shout, it would speed up. So then I stopped shouting and just try to sprint. I'm honestly gubbed. Like, I'm absolutely gubbed. And that went on for about 2 miles. And then it gets to the point where it starts climbing the mountain. I'm not climbing the cobbler, and I went to the other one. And as soon as I seen it start climbing that, I was like, I'm not climbing the cobbler for a second time. It's not even a Monroe, and I don't get the dog. Because that's what's going to happen. So I left it there. I was like, that thing's a goner, man.
I can't believe this.
That thing is an absolute goner. Because if it's going up there, there's no... By the way, I only seen 2 people the full time.
I was going to say, it would have been it was a Sunday night, wasn't it? Monday
It
night?
was a Monday evening when it was like 27 degrees, and I started climbing at 5:30. That's also why I had to do it quick, because I couldn't fuck about. It'd have been pitch black. And so I gave up on it. And then done the mountain by myself. Took some pictures. By the way, one of the best experiences I've ever had, being up there on your own.
It's class.
When nobody there.
We'll talk about that in a sec, but
oh,
please tell me you found it. Did you find the dog on the way back down?
There's more to it, right? So start coming down the mountain. Just as I'm coming down, there was a guy hiking up a mountain bike on his back.
Oh, I hate the guys, man. See, when you, like, they're the ones that you're doing it, and you're like, oh, so it's quite tough, man. But you know what? I've got relatively good fitness, and then you see these guys running up it and running down it, cycling up it, cycling down.
So
Insane.
He's got a mountain bike on him. I was like, mate, there's no way you're going down on that. And he's like, yeah. He was actually sound, to be fair. I spoke to him for like 10 minutes. I was telling him about the dog. I was like, mate, if you've got a bike, you might be able to catch this thing. I can't catch it. And then keep going down. I ran down, by the way, like not all of it, maybe like 30% of it. And then I met this Geordie couple. This is like an hour and a half after I've gave up on the dog, and I was like, see if you see this dog, and we're like, we found it. And I was like, from the bottom. And I was like, how has it went up there and then got to the bottom and you found it? And they were like, yeah, we've gave it back to the owner. They met the owner at the car park. They probably read the sign and seen lost dog, not lost car.
Dude, don't worry, mate. We'll take your number. We'll find it.
There's a guy looking for your car. And, came down, right? Full time I'm coming down. I'm scared because I had my AirPods in. I'm scared this guy in the mountain bike's going to clean me out. I get to the bottom. He honestly finishes like 10 seconds after me. And I start talking to him at the car park. This German guy comes in a caravan. He's like asking me where the campsite is, and I had about a 5-minute conversation with him where he doesn't understand the word I'm saying. I'm like, I actually said to him at one point, "Where's the guy in the mountain bikes there? Can you please stop talking to me?" Because I knew he wouldn't understand me anyway.
That's a big boss and all that.
Yeah.
Mate, can you shut the fuck up, please?
May as well.
Say like to the other guy, watch this.
Because everything he said to me, I would reply back saying, yeah, it's down there. And he'd go, "Ich habe die Goschken guy." And I'm like, cool. Just go down there.
The thing is, where is the campsite in Arakat? There's about 12 in the surrounding area.
I was like, there's one over there and one over there. And he just kept asking me questions in German. I'm like, I don't speak German. You can't understand what I'm saying. Just
fucking nuts.
But then I turned round. The dog was sitting by the lock with the guy, right?
That must... that's just fucking mental.
I mean, it was one of the... This is why I loved it, right? Because this wouldn't happen anywhere else apart from Scotland. Like, if you go to a hill in England, people won't speak to you, whereas
they don't.
I spoke to everyone. Everyone was a bit
fucking... You all knew each other. There's a guy.
I knew everyone on the mountain. So I walked up to the guy and I'm like, "You found the fucking dog?" And I was like, I chased that fuck, because I was like, I chased that fucking bastard for 2 miles, and he came up to me and gave me a massive hug, like he was like in hysterics and all that, and he was like, "Thank you so much for even trying me. I thought it was a goner." And I was like, and he was like, "You're the one that asked me about the car." I was like, "Aye."
Let's not mention that, please.
I'm sorry about that, mate. I was a bit stressed. I was like, I've never climbed the Monroe myself as well, so I think I was maybe just
stressed. Anxiety was through the roof.
Yeah, a wee bit on edge. And I was talking to him for like 15 minutes. He sounded a wee bit Polish, but he was from Dingwall.
All right.
like up near Inverness, but his accent was fucking mental, right? And he,
That big dog, what was it?
I don't know what kind of dog it is, but it's probably a bit smaller than a Labrador.
You've never owned pets, have you?
We've got a cat. I've always had cats.
Cats.
My dad's been obsessed with, I don't know why, he's a cat man.
Interesting.
Just what happens when you're single for like 20 years, I think. You just get cats or dogs.
Crazy cat lady, crazy cat dad.
He's a crazy cat.
I can't see just so if I would be in distraught, man. Like I was I telling you the other day? No, I don't think I was. Maybe Brian I was speaking to, but I was on TikTok and it was like last day with my dog and it was just a guy. And then, mate, I was sitting, I'm not even kidding, tears are running from my face. And Cooper was in the gym with me and I was like, come here. And I just hugged him for like 20 minutes. And I was like, come on, let's go out a walk. Like, we need to go out here. Like, I don't know what it is owning a dog. I've always been a dog person, but I've never had dog. He's the first dog I've ever owned. But I had named Cooper and I knew what type of dog I wanted before I even had him. So I don't know, I think it's just like manifesting. Like,
if I would get a dog, it would be a good chance it would be the same dog as you, like a retriever.
just something that's like he's brilliant, but I can't imagine losing. See, if I wouldn't be putting signs out, I'd be in that mountain running a bit.
So I think he had been for like maybe an hour or two, and he's living in Glasgow, so it's an hour or like 40 minutes away from Glasgow.
Yeah.
And he tried to come back to Glasgow when he drove for like 20 minutes and just turned around and came back up to the mountain. And then, so I'm speaking to him for like 10, 15 minutes, right? And he was making me laugh because he was just, that way he's just going through all the emotions. And he's got a fag as well, so he's just like looking into the distance going, "So fucking wee bastard, but I love it." And then he's like, I can't believe it. And then he just like, I don't know if you know Attica, where so even if you park in the car park, the lock just looks unreal. So he's standing out of that, right? And he's just been telling me about his full life, how he's got 3 kids and all this. And then he was like telling me about how he goes hunting deer with this dog. And then he just takes a massive, and I don't know the guy as well, he takes a massive draw his fag and just goes, "I would die for this land, like."
I wasn't sure. I thought you were going, "Do you want to draw?" That's where I thought you were going with that. That is fucking
so irrelevant. He was like, "Oh, fucking love Scotland, eh?"
Was he steaming or that?
No.
He had a few drinks. No, I was going to say, like, there's nothing more powerful like sitting there being alone. That's probably why you enjoyed it so much. Like, see that loneliness as you're climbing, you're just with your thoughts, you're outdoors, away from the city. I said this to James not too long ago, but it seems weird, it sounds ridiculous, but there's something about it. It just, I don't know.
One of the best things I've ever done, generally, see standing up there, and I didn't
quiet
because I'd done it with my mate the week before, and we seen like maybe 4 people going up there, walking up themselves. When it was a busier day, and loads of them didn't have earphones in or anything, and he was like, I can't imagine doing that without earphones or anything in. And so I'd done it without a podcast or music or anything, and it was just unreal. Like, if you take in you don't even take in the full thing, it's more how hard it is as well, because when you get to the top you really, really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Imagine you just get fucking flown up there, it'd be shite.
No. What was that compared to Bali? The one that you done in Bali?
Bali one wasn't hard because it was like 1,000 meters, but I think you drive up like 400 of them, so it's like 1,000 meters above sea level. But
that was above the clouds. The guy playing guitar.
Yeah, it might have been. Cool. It might have been higher than that, but you only had to hike for like an hour and a half. It wasn't a long hike, but that view was unreal. But again, like, imagine you were there yourself, it'd be like 30 times better. That was up there as well, because it was a sunrise where you see the sun rising. You're on a volcano as well. It's not a mountain.
It was.
Yeah, and then the sun rises behind another volcano adjacent to it, and you're above the clouds. It's quite special. Like,
that's nuts.
So I'm gonna try do quite a lot of them on my own. I think that's gonna be my new thing. I'm gonna buy like the Monroe book, where you tick them all off and all that.
Just get an app.
Huh?
Just get the app. Like,
no, I like being old school. Take it off, put it on my wall. Wank every time I do one. You need to stop saying ridiculous stuff, man, because they said they're going to check my Instagram and all that.
God, really?
Yeah. What? So
there's a level of criteria you need to meet to get them on.
I don't know. Well, the guy really likes me that's coming on. Like, he's followed me for ages. But I do say some outrageous stuff sometimes. Nothing bad about anything to do with his line of work, but I do come out with the odd outrageous thing. Like, they're not going to want me to swear or anything, which is fine. I'll happily not swear.
Yeah.
But I'll be on edge a wee bit. I'll just be thinking of, like, the dirtiest things possible in my mind.
Like, don't think about it. Don't say it. Don't say it. Don't say it. How's your fucking career been? Fucking dick. What's the goal this year for Monroe's? Are you trying to get, like, a specific number done?
I want to just try to do one a week.
One a week?
Yeah, weight's absolutely falling off me as well.
Yeah.
From doing them. So I maybe wouldn't mind doing, like, 2 in one go as well.
2?
Yeah.
The cobbler weighs best. You can do, like, 3. You box 3 off at one time.
I've done them.
Is that them done now?
That's the one. The other 2 are the ones that I've done.
Is there another one my client
I
came
couldn't
back
think
and
anything
done?
worse than doing one again.
No. Oh, what, up that way?
Just doing the same one.
Oh, no. I've done the cobbler like 5 or 6 times.
Have you?
And I enjoyed that just because I knew the path, and I think that's what it was. I was like, I know I can do that, and it was dead easy. And then I was like, just trying to beat time.
I have a thing though where I don't like doing it. Like, I wouldn't go to the same place on holiday. See, someone goes, "You want to go on holiday here?" I'm like, absolutely not. I've been, or, like, I don't like doing that. Australia was different because it was like it was a living thing.
Nice.
Like, I've been and I love it, as in, like, to live there. But if it was a holiday or travelling wise, do you want to travel somewhere you've already travelled? No. Do you want to go up Monroe? You've done no. I want to do another one.
My client came back from, I need to find out where she went, but she was away for like 8 hours and she'd done like 6 in one go.
Right.
It was crazy. It was only like 8 hours worth of walking, which in the grand scheme of things isn't that bad.
Because you're already up
you're
one.
Up and you're down and then up, but you're not going down to the car park level, if that makes sense. I'll find out where she went.
Yeah.
By the views, it's hard to explain. Like you're saying, I was in the Lake District and I done a... Me and Gavin
fucking go. I love this.
So I tried
Full
to
of
do...
cunts.
Oh, mate. So I tried... We tried to do one. We ended up in a path. There was a long driveway to someone's house. It was like, fuck this, Mickey. It was like an hour and a half we were walking and we just turned up to somebody's house and I was like, that's the mountain there. Is that not where we're supposed to be? No, we're on the right path. And every person we walked by, I was like, how you doing? Nothing. I was like,
not
cunts.
a single drop.
No. But I think that's because they were like, that's my house down there. Why are you walking in that direction?
Because we walked around all the touristy bits where there was literally hundreds of people. Then we walked, it was Keswick, I think it's called. We walked up to like a bridge that everyone takes a picture at and nobody says hi to you, mate. And like the only people that were saying hi to me were the ones that I forced it out of them. Like there was like, we had maybe like 4 people walk past us and like, I like making people be awkward and I like making my mates feel awkward, so I would just scream hi at all of them and they all be like, hi, and I'll fucking get this out of you. I'll squeeze it out of you, but
You want anyone who walks by, he's like, or don't then?
Nah, not so much.
No.
But I would be like hi and they give me a hi back and be like, forced. Fucking forced. It should be natural. Come out.
I don't know why that is though.
English.
It's the only conclusion you can come up with.
Genuinely is.
If we go tomorrow, my mate Sam, he's English and he's like, "Did you all speak to each other up here?" It's like, friendly, innit?
It's just what we do.
bizarre.
And it's just like
It's common courtesy, mate.
yeah, it's just being sound. It's just
being a human cunt.
What was it? One guy commented. I made an English joke one time, and one guy commented on it. He was like, "I thought you were better than slagging off the English or whatever." And I was like, "Well, why would you think that?
Why would I not?
Why would you make silly assumptions?" I'm from Glasgow. Obviously, I'm going to slag English people.
Have you done like Snowdon and Snowdon?
Snowdon and Scaffold Pike, and it's Snowdon's in Wales. And no, but I'm going to do.
Snowdon was good. We done a crazy.
That's where Wales, isn't it?
One. It's got a pub up the top or a cafe.
Yeah, somebody told me this.
But you can also get the train up. Fucking cheating.
I don't like that either.
Nah.
I don't. There shouldn't be train tracks on mountains.
That was tough though, but I think that was tough for me because we cycled round it and we rode across the lake and then climbed it. It was like a crazy triathlon thing we done for charity.
I'll probably try the 24-hour thing.
On 3 peaks.
Yeah. That's what I get. A lot of people have been commenting, going like, "Oh, you need to do these ones in England and Wales, whatever. They're better." I'm actually going through all of them. Did you see what I commented back the other day?
I seen what you put in your story. It's like,
there's better hills in Wales.
Shut up.
So see, generally, right. Look at the top 100 mountains in the UK. The top 75, the first 75 are all in Scotland. So how can you in any way say that Wales has better
Where
mountains?
did Snowdon come? Was it like 76?
Yeah. And it's like, oh, they're not bigger, but they're better. And it's like, there's 75 before you get to your best one.
75.
There's 75 to choose from. And that's just like, if you looked at like the top 250, there'd be like, I'd say like 80% of them will be in Scotland. And it's like, the whole area that we climb Munro's in is called the Highlands. But would you know what a Highland stands for? Hills. Because we have hundreds of them.
See when you look at, have you ever looked at like just the population in the central belt, like Scotland? That's where we are just now. Like majority of our land is fucking hills and Munro's.
Yeah,
it's crazy. It's crazy,
and it's so stunning as well.
I was always baffled at the start that there's I think there's just shy of 6 million people in Scotland, and there's 38 in England. 38 million people in England.
Yeah,
that baffles me for a sec. So you think about it, you're like,
that's how we never get what we vote for.
I know. It's like no wonder, always overpowered.
How much is in the central belt? Surely
5. Must be. Must be 5 million people.
6 people outside of Glasgow and Edinburgh.
It honestly can't be many. It'll be an interesting thing to look up.
See, when people are like, oh, people from Glasgow think there's nothing else outside of Glasgow, like as in, and we're like, but there isn't, is there?
There's fuck all, mate.
And I was actually saying this to this Inverness guy. Went to Thurso last year for a wedding, and I think because Scottish and Irish are quite similar, but I always go Scotland and Glasgow are similar. Like the humour, Scottish humour, Glasgow humour and Irish humour are similar. I don't think like Edinburgh people and Irish people.
Further west you go,
Edinburgh,
east you go.
Edinburgh, you're starting to like be English. No offence to you, but you are. And I went up to Thurso last year, and they're some of the worst people I've ever met. Thurso's the very top of Scotland, but we have this idea that like small Scottish towns are the same as like, you know, if you go to a small Irish town in the middle of nowhere, everyone would be really friendly, know each other. These are some of the worst people I've ever met.
In Thurso?
None of them.
Tory bastards. You know, have you not seen like the voting map when it was like who voted for Brexit and stuff like that? And it was like everywhere in Scotland voted to stay in the EU, and this one wee chunk up the top of Scotland voted to leave.
Do you know what I would vote for? To chop Thurso off of the mainland.
Mate, they're all fucking
give it away.
Like super rich, super well. I don't know why. There's a lot of like aligned with like Tory politics in the fucking total north of Scotland. It's weird.
None of them say hi to you, and also the worst accent I've ever heard in my life.
I don't know what accent. I probably would if I spoke to one of them, but
the worst accent. But I'm very much, when I come back here and everyone's like, I like climbing Munro's and all that, but I don't want to like speak to. I don't really fancy like going out to like all these random places and meeting the locals. I don't.
Very tight community.
Even when I get like 40 minutes outside of Glasgow, I'm like, I don't like it. The last time I remember going, I went to, do you know, it's Whitburn, which would come under, comes under, well, it's still Central Belt, but it's like closer to Edinburgh, getting weird accents. I actually think Lewis Capaldi's from there. Anyway, went and helped my dad with a job, and the woman had 20 dogs, 20 rescue dogs in her house. Our house was stinking, right? That was bad enough. Then I went outside and she was like, do you want to see the alpacas? I was like,
the what?
The alpacas? I thought that was a made up animal. She had 14 alpacas. Just
that fucking farm?
Just stoned them. No, she had, just all she had was dogs and alpacas.
That's what your dad could have went down with cats.
There's still time yet.
As mental.
How was your business event? You don't need to say the names or anything, but I want to talk to you about...
Yeah, it was actually, you know what?
I want to talk to you about business events in general, because I think you've done quite a lot of that stuff, or a lot of self-development.
Aye, definitely. That's been one of the biggest investments, I'd say, I've put in to myself and whatnot over the last couple of years, but it was good. I was going into it, I was looking at the names, and I know this wasn't the right frame of mind to have, but I was like, I don't really know who these people are, like what sort of value am I going to get, blah blah blah. But out of all the speakers and that, they were all strong speakers. There was one which was on crypto, didn't really resonate with me much. Like, it was all crypto talk and it was just basic information. I see why it was there, because it was about like different diversity within business. Sarah Davies was there for Dragon's Den. She was awesome. She made her wealth through envelope makers. And I was like, wow. Then Tom Skinner, you know who he is?
No.
He was on the Apprentice. He was just a typical like English lad, like Londoner. Went to the markets and stuff like that. His talk was actually quite cool. Nico Leonard, you watch guy on YouTube.
I don't know who anyone is.
You must have seen his videos. Like, he does everything around watches on YouTube, and it's quite funny and that sort of stuff. Irish guy.
I know nothing about watches, so I only know.
Yeah, they are, but I see his videos.
Right, okay.
He was there. It was all right. It was cool. Then the rest was all like.
What were they teaching you? So it's financial freedom, but what did they actually teach you?
A common thing through everybody's talk was having a strong purpose in what you're doing, which was quite good to see, because when you think of financial freedom, it's all about making hundreds of money and that sort of stuff. But it was actually like, look, it's easy to make money, but what can guarantee your level of success and wealth is having a strong purpose behind what you do.
Yeah.
And that was quite interesting to see through everybody's talks, even though everyone was different, from a billionaire like Sarah Davies on Dragon's Den to an apprentice to people who are doing like there was a guy for Curluke that runs his own business, which is he does like cold plunges and all that sort of like meditation, like see like Wim Hof stuff and all that.
Do you think that business has got a lifespan because of this being a trend?
He's been doing it for 18 years, so I think so. I think people like him, yes. People like, like me and you, like we were PTing and the next day we're doing like cold plunge dips.
PTing has become a trend, but I don't think it's going to stop because there's too many people to help.
Aye, it's never ending, isn't it? It's like, how do you never really, do you truly fix the root cause of health and fitness? Probably not.
And most people don't last at it anyway.
No.
Because you're effectively an entrepreneur, aren't you?
Yeah.
Or exactly. Self-employed at least. Wouldn't call myself an entrepreneur, but you're self-employed.
So, yeah, that was quite cool. Different talks on just different ways of like reframing your mind, getting inspiration for some other people's stories. And yeah, like there was an Australian guy that was one of the first talks, and he was writing what he was saying. He's like, he says this country's beautiful, but he goes, see, when you ask anyone here and you're like, oh, how you doing, mate? And it's like, oh, not bad, you. And he's like, why not bad? Like, and you're listening to it like, this is cringy, this is cheesy, but then he goes into like a deeper layer of thinking, like, you know what, you're right, like, why is it? Like, because we know like negative mindset can guarantee a negative outcome, whereas a positive mindset can't guarantee a positive outcome, but there's a better chance of positive things happening. You know what it's like when you've got a client who's always like, oh, this is shit, this isn't working. It's like, look, we need to really change that mindset before we can tackle any of your other.
See, even though we're really friendly, I can tell you from moving back from Australia twice, one of the most negative cultures, 100%.
Australian?
No.
Us,
like really negative about everything, like cynical about everything as well. Very much would they call it. You've probably heard that tall poppy syndrome that they talk about. That's an Australian thing about cutting people down. We have that times 10.
Yeah, like
you get anytime you try something different here. But it's been so long since I've took myself away from all of that. Not even just going to Australia. I all my mates that slagged me in school when I tried to do freestyle and all that, I just sacked them off. I knew I was like quite extroverted, and I had mates and anyone that I was like there, I didn't like sack off my only mates. I like had replacement, like I had better people already, if you know what I mean. Yeah. I hate that whole thing, like fucking detach yourself from anyone negative. They were actually being cunts. They were like toxic as fuck, if you know what I mean. But I find just, even if you walk around the streets and stuff, I feel people are definitely unhappier here. They're happy when the sun comes out, but people are less happy here. They're friendly though. But that's also probably a working class thing, the friendly thing, isn't it?
I definitely think so. And I think that's where this is one of the only events that's been in Scotland which has been talking about financial freedom. And that's a rare thing that you see in and around Glasgow.
You get called a cunt for even going to that.
You do. And this was a good thing about this event, like financially free. You're thinking it's a monetary thing, and a lot of, we see them pop up like business coaches, get rich quick, make 100k in a year, make 10k in a month, all these buzz terms that are in there. But what was quite good from this event was every single person had a unique story in their own field, different fields across business, and the common thing was purpose and who you surround yourself with, and not getting caught up in that. There's that thing like, show me your 5 friends and I'll show you your wealth or your income and that sort of thing. And it wasn't too much of that kind of woo-woo stuff and all mindset stuff. It was like practical application of like things that you need
Just
to
sort
do.
of like how you design your life.
How you reframe your mind, and from your mindset to your physical well-being to your actual skill set. So marketing, there's a guy there talking about, like, he leads one of the UK's, down in England, one of the UK's Facebook marketing campaigns, and they always, the analogy that most people use in the financially free world is they related to fitness, because it's quite easy to communicate. And this was a piece of fitness equipment, mate, and it was a bow and arrow, right? A bow and arrow, and the guy's like, right, so this is one of our customers that came to us, and they were trying to make sales, and they put X amount of pounds in, and the return was like pound spent, pound sale, and it was going so far, and then it was pound loss. And we were playing about with their copy and their ads, and it's how you maximise Facebook ads, basically. And they made one tweak to it, and they said, we tried to go after mums, that didn't work. We tried to go after overweight people, that didn't work. And then we found a slogan like, Dad, get rid of the dad bods. So you hear that and you're like, fuck, there's no way. And then that changed that into a £1 million e-commerce brand. That one bit of copy being changed in that title, which was like, dad bod no more or something like that. And he's like, I don't know why this worked, but it then sold out that item. And that, like, forget about the morals, if that piece of that gimmicky equipment would work or not, but different ways of like putting it back to my own business, my own, what I'm looking to do to grow and expand and that sort of things. I was thinking that makes sense. I need to play about with a couple of different messaging. And I think integrity-wise, this is what I was saying to you, I need to challenge myself a bit, because like, you could just play into, you want to get shredded in 8 weeks, and then cool, join my coaching, and then when they're in, try and foster them, say, look, there's no such thing as a quick fix, and then try and change their mind. But I don't know if that's actually helping the masses or not, because it's a hard thing that I always play with my integrity. But there's just so many different talks, different ways of looking at it. There was a sales talk there, he was really good, like how, because sales is probably, nobody grows up and go, oh, I can't wait to be a salesperson when I'm older. You see it as quite a sleazy thing, but we're all sales. We need to sell our services, we need to sell who we are as a person, like us talking on a podcast when you're getting interviewed. So sales skills is quite important, and that I've done a few of them now, and I'm quite confident in sales, where I don't see it's been sleazy anymore. A long time I'm like, I pitch my prices here, how do I do X, Y, and Z? But changing your mindset around that.
I've been trying to do that as well. We were talking about that before, weren't we?
Yeah. It's hard.
What I'm thinking about doing, have you ever done this, writing up like my dream client or just my ideal client, and just giving them a name and all that, and then actually thinking about every time I make content or write an email, or like even speak to someone on a podcast, like a hypothetical person, thinking about that person. Yeah. So I could even try to come up with it just now. It would be like, probably, it's mostly women I get. I think that's just fuck. I mean, I've had people that are like inquire me when I first blew up on TikTok and all that, and they're like, oh, I just wanted to speak on the phone with you. And I'm like, fuck off.
Start charging fees for that.
Aye, charge me £100 if you wanted to hear my accent. Get the fuck. But it's mostly women, and I think that's because even if no matter how strong I get, I'm not going to look like a crazy bodybuilder, so I just don't attract. It's probably a looks thing, whereas men are like,
we're more egotistical when you look at that. What are they going to teach me?
Yeah, exactly. So it's more women I'm going to get, because I'm speaking about weight loss or whatever. So writing up like my ideal client being between like maybe 25 and 40 maybe. I will get, sorry for anyone that's 43 and listening to this and pre-menopausal and you think I don't know him. Do you know what I mean? Fucking shut up. Well, what do you know about the men? Shut up, fucking leave me alone. That's why I've cut it off and fucking on.
No, that's the next. So I'm going through that just now. So I'm doing a mentorship, being mentored off Jason Phillips stuff and that. And he says, think of, like, instead of your ideal client, because that ICA is like something that it's like the buzzword in marketing terms. He's like, think about a profile of the clients that you want to train. And he goes, right, once you've got that, before you even market to them, before you create content, before you sell, go from 1 to 100 of every step that you do, generally speaking with them. So assessing where they're at, looking at, he goes, write that out on a piece of paper. Then actually go, right, what's all the struggles that they have with, and you start branching off, and then you've got a content strategy for a year. Like, what's the pain points that they struggle with? Dismantle their disbeliefs. Oh, I need to work out 5 days a week. Oh, I need to eat fucking chicken, broccoli and rice 3 times a day. Like, start dismantling that, and then that works. That puts you in a position of power and stature, and you start attracting the type of clients that you want.
Yeah, I'm trying to read a lot about like content creation, or even just like marketing creation and stuff, and try to filter that into my social media. I don't watch any personal trainer at the moment because they're all frying my head, because they're all doing the same fucking video. But they're all doing the same video over and over again. You can tell the personal trainers that literally just go on 10 PTs pages, just be like, that's their best video, and we're going to remake that. And they just do the same shit over and over again. Whereas I know I'm good at storytelling, if you know what I mean, telling stories, but like there being a reason for the story and like an outcome from the story, if you know what I mean, as in like you see how someone went from this to this. Do you see that client when I posted?
Yeah, I really like that.
Do stuff like that, so it's not transformations. Well, it is a transformation, but it's the story behind the client and how you can see how she's done it, so can you. Stuff like that.
It's relatable stuff. That's what people want to see.
Because my personal training is already, like, my service is sell and that without me even selling it.
Did you see the one I done?
No.
Yesterday. So I got one of my clients who trained her for her 60th. And my
Sorry that you watched mine and I didn't watch yours.
No, you're fine.
Like,
I'm snoozed on yours. No, but the point I'm trying to make, like, I'm starting to work out. I think when you're starting out PTing, like, to try and someday tell you, work out your ideal client, you don't really have a pulse on that. You need to train a very broad spectrum of people, and over time that starts to narrow down. You're like, I fucking love working with this. Because I tried to work with Jason Phillips a couple of years ago when I started PTing, and he was on about ICP, ICA, and I was like, I don't know. He's like, well, what's one of your clients? And I had a client at the time I was training. It's
my wife.
No, I had a client I was training for my American football, and it was all about performance. It was always being an athlete, and I was training Jillian's mum, who is recovering from cancer and never lifted weights in her whole life. And I was like, I don't know, I really like training both. And he's like, pick one. I was like, I can't. So I went away for a year and I just trained broad spectrum of people. And the clients I love training is people in advanced age or older age, people over the age of 40, 50, 60, 70. And because the return on that, it gives me more joy and purpose and fulfillment for what I do. But yeah, the testimonial I got, one of my clients worked with her for nearly a year, trained her for her 60th. She was going on a big Dubai holiday, and it was a bit weight loss initially, but I said, I'm going to get stronger, X, Y and Z, pain free, all this sort of stuff. And we sat down for 17 minutes and I just asked her questions, and I've started chopping that up into short things. So nice. The one I posted the other day was a 60-second clip from it, and I just said, how's lifting weight showing up out with the gym? Because I want people to see that the gym isn't just for looks. I think there's a big message that, like, I asked my dad and my mum and all this thing why they don't go to the gym, so I don't care about having a six-pack of that. It's like, it's not about that, man.
My dad's riddled with injuries, and I'm like, lift. And he's like, but I've done my lifting. I was like, and you stopped.
There's no end limit. There's no...
No, but he means like, oh yeah, but I'd done that in my 20s because that's what I wanted then. I was like, I would see like the amount of fucking injuries and stuff you had. Do you know what would help? Lifting.
It's baffling though, isn't it? Because it seems so obvious to us. So I think there's a big gap in the market that I see, especially in Scotland.
It's just, how do you make that sexy? Because it needs to be sexy. Yeah. That's the only thing, isn't it? Because people won't do it unless it's...
Well, there I've sat somebody down and I said, how's that showing up? She's like, well, I'm a carer. And I was struggling to stand up. I was using my patients. I was using their bedside tables to get myself off the ground. And I'm deadlifting 60 kilo. I'm a better mum, I'm a better sister, I'm a better friend. Boom, cool. Let me stick that message out in the world. And just keep hammering that message until it attracts an audience that resonates. One
of my clients, the biggest thing, and like I would never push this on someone. She's actually from around here. She had 2 jobs and was like constantly like cleaning her house and all that, and she was like, I'm burnt out and all this. And then she'd message me back, mate. Like, I'd message her and she'd be on her phone straight away. And sometimes when I was in Australia, I'd be like, that's like 1 a.m. Like, what time were you sleeping at? And she's like, I had to do this, this and this. And I was like, did you though? And I would just push back on her all the time. I'm like, did that need to be done though? And then one time, I know this is a wee bit intrusive, but I went like, have you got savings? And she was like, yeah. I can't remember what she said. She wouldn't have given me a number. I wasn't asking for a number, but I was just like,
because your prices are gone.
Nah, you get savings because these are getting ramped up 50% for your shit. But she was like, yeah, that generally that's all I said. I didn't ask how much it was or anything. And she quit her second job just from the pushback I'd give her. But I've never, when I'm pushing back, I'm just asking her, why are you doing it?
You're not coming to the conclusion. You're getting them to come to the conclusion.
That's
what it's all about.
I'm not pushing back going, here, you should do this, this, and this. I'm just pushing back going, why? And then they would tell me why, and I'm like, right, how did you feel after you done that? Was it worth it? And then I'd be like, how did your energy feel after it? And after, like, she'd worked with me for like maybe 4 months. She just randomly texted me going, yeah, I quit my second job. See, since then, outrageous. Outrageous how much progress she's made. Just because she's got the time to do it.
Yeah.
And that's what I try to get people to think about as well. See, when I have a client now as well that I would happily say this in a podcast, I'm not taking on a single another client that has a job where they're living out of hotels online, not doing it. Like, it's impossible. If you're like fucking on a plane twice a week and you are like turning up, if say it's a shoot or whatever, and that's your lifestyle all the time, you can't. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, so you've got to break yourself, look, this isn't it.
Tried it with 10 people.
Can it work out?
I have no solution for you.
Yeah.
Because you just don't, like, never sleeping, never have your own food, don't know if you've got access to a gym. I've done even try to work out how to help them. Because it always comes, see clients like that as well, they always start like having a go at you, and it's like, but I can't change what you're doing for work.
Yeah. So I'm
done with them.
But it's more mature in that point to go like, I've tried, and I'm at my end's limit. Like, you don't know. And that's the thing that everybody runs into. You don't always need to have the answers for everything. But to your point, like, how do you make that sexy? Like, that is sexy to me. To me, that's the way of chalking it up. Like I think our definition. But
but like the clip you're talking about, sexy. So that is you making it sexy. Yeah. But if you just said here the benefits are, and you just said it yourself. Like when you I'm
going to play with a few different bits of copy, but I think that's why, like, if I sit down and I go, right, no, to me this is a better message to put out. You might not seem it's sexiest, but to me it is sexy. Like, that is the way of dressing up. And if I keep standing by that comment, then I think that'll attract an audience or a type of clientele that I'm looking to train. Like, I'm not looking to convert somebody that's like dead interested in getting abs and getting ready for a photo shoot. Not that there's anything wrong with it. I'm just saying that clientele, can I help you in that situation? Like, yes. Can I get you in great shape? Yes. But it's not the client I'm interested in training with, because I don't, like, as much as I could use your testimonial as an amazing before and after picture, to me, I've done it for myself. I've done it for a number of clients at the start of my career. I'm not interested in that type of client. Like, it's not the message that I want to put out there. So
you mean the shredded?
Aye, so I've got like before and afters in my own training, a few clients training, and I thought very quickly, I was like, I think I knew going into it, I was like, this isn't like, the reason I became a PT wasn't because I wanted to get people in tremendous shape. It's because I went through and I was in tremendous shape, and I didn't see the benefits of what you would think, having been absolutely shredded, and my hormones were fucking through, like, down in the stumps, and doing crazy amounts of cardio. I was like, this is a shit way of doing it. I need to communicate
I don't think it's impressive to cut someone's calories for 12 weeks plus.
Nah. And there'll be, but then again, like, there's a niche, there's an ideal customer, there's a profile that's already laid out, and that's a sexy market. That's what's seen as sexy just now. And I think that's what I'm saying. Like,
the picture's sexy, but do it.
I'm going to find my market, and I'm going to make that sexy, and you'll find yours. Like you're saying, like, it's predominantly women that reach out anyway. When you think about it, men are too.
Yeah, well, I already do know my ideal client, and like my obstacles will be, or more just, I get to the point where people, it's not about like trying to get really lean or anything, maybe losing like 10, 20 kilos or whatever, but then also having the skill of being able to show them that, look, this last 5 kilos that you think you need to lose, that's where all your happiness goes. Like, yeah. And that's a skill to be a coach that can do that. And my clients will understand that. And I'll be like, look, here's a picture of me when I took off those last 5 kilos. And I'll be like, this is everything that happened to me. Do you want these?
Yeah.
And like, what do you like in your life just now? I like the fact I can go back to maintenance whenever I want. If I'm dieting, if you know what I mean. Because I tell people, like, if you're too hungry, we'll do a strength phase for 2 months. Just don't worry about losing weight. Do you know what I mean? I've always given them the options.
And I think as well, like, this is a big misconception when you're like people. So I have clients come to me and say, I'm 22 stone, I want to be 16. It's like, okay, why do you want to be 16? It's like, because I used to look like that, and I remember the feeling. It's like, right, cool. I'm not going to like dismantle their belief at that point, but I'm going to take them down the journey. And usually when we get to 17, 18 stone, how are you feeling? Feel great. Fucking really understand. Right, cool. Do you want to keep going? Like, do you want to keep going with a weight loss, or do you want me to show you another side of the coin where we work on maintenance, we work on actually eating more calories to build muscle and all that sort of thing? Like, yeah, okay, fuck it. And then they realise that helps them pull away from the scales and just gives them a better outlook. And
it's such a like beautiful skill you develop into it, where you know what you like. You know everything you could say to them just now, but you're just like,
you need to sit back on it.
You just go, don't say it. Cool. Don't say it. Don't need to make them feel anything. Just get them to do what you need them to do. Mm. They'll see it for themselves. And half the time you're just like, just shut up. Just as not them, as in like yourself. You're just like, don't say anything. Their goal's ridiculous. Don't say anything. They'll see that their goal's ridiculous.
Pull them into it rather than pushing pushing something. You know what?
You're just like kind of going, this is how you think. We'll get you to do this, and then you'll start thinking like this, and I don't need to tell you to think like that. Do you get what I mean?
Aye,
and it's a skill you develop.
I know. And do you remember what that happened with you? So when you're saying that, I remember the word toned. I fucking hated the word tone because it's not a real word. Muscles don't tone. But then I remember first couple of clients I got, and they're like, I just want to tone here. Well, actually, you can't tone your body. Your muscles only grow and they shrink. And then the more and more clients I took on, I was like, why am I doing that? That's doing fucking nothing to the conversation. So when a client comes to me, I want to tone here. Okay, cool. Yeah. Like you said, that's so hard to do. Because at the start, I was on it, it's like, oh yeah, no, muscles don't tone. I need to educate people, but that's not really educating them. Because
it's not education, it's behavioural change.
Aye.
I said this to Michael and he laughed at me, but I was like, we are like behaviour change coaches. We're not fitness coaches. We use fitness as a method, but we're changing people's behaviours. And that's what we're doing. Yeah, we're like habit builders, and like, so you need to come at it from what would help someone build a habit.
Well, because that's the sign. That's long-term success there. Like fitness I see fitness as the instructors and the classes and the HIIT work. Like that's fitness. It's just fucking hunters. They like exercise. But our jobs as coaches is accountability, is habits, it's behavioural. They're the main things. Like, it doesn't matter what sort of workout you apply.
Right, we'll end the podcast there because for the last 10 minutes I've been trying to go to the toilet because I absolutely spanked that bottle of water.
Good being on again.
At Coach Crossar.
Cheers.
And I'll be in the...
What an outro that is. Thanks very much.
In the show notes. If you need anything else, I'm going to the toilet and fucking Dale can fucking promote himself.